last coffee of the day then, and a new bike reveal. And I'm giving you a little bit of a clue, so I'm not going to waste very much time. I'm just going to show you. I have been working on the bike over the Christmas period in the workshop, and I didn't film it for a reason, because I didn't really want to show what I was doing with the lift, because there is a problem with the cruiser lift, which I'll go into in a minute. But here it is. It's a Harley Davidson Electra Glide Ultra Limited. It's a 2013 model. It's not done a lot of miles. 15,000, 15,500. Let's say stand down. So I've been doing a few wee jobs. I've obviously got my sat nav fitted to it, and my quad lock for the phone. I've done it sort of the sat nav's going down into the cigarette lighter that's on this side, and I've made a cable up and adapted it with a cigarette fitment that I got off an old cable, and I cut the lead for this to basically make one lead out of it. I can maybe show you in a minute if I go around the other side. And my quad lock is just kind of loosely fitted here. It's going out under the tank. For the quad lock I'm using the one of the SE connectors, the tenders for charging the battery. Don't use my phone a lot on the bike, but if I do want to use it, at least it could pop on there. When it's not on there, it's not going to be drawing any power. The sat nav, because it's going into the cigarette lighter, that's going to be fine. That's going to work perfectly, and it'll power off with the bike. So we can get around the other side. I don't know how well I can move this at the moment. Now I've got the bike angled the way it is angled. Let's see if I can. You can just see the cigarette lighter in there. It's not foul in the tank, but it's got quite a sharp angle there. It's just about nudging it, but it is designed for it. But that's about the steepest angle you're going to have at it. But you can always take it out, of course. But I've made up a cable there. So, like I say, it's a 2013, 15,500 miles, not a lot of miles on it, for a bike that's 11 years old. It's in really good condition. It's got a few wee bruises here and there, as you'd expect with an 11-year-old bike, but nothing much, nothing to worry about, and the framing, that's all in good nick. I've just been doing a little bit of tidying up on it. I've also coated it in ESC50. I've just been tidying a few things up, treating the seat and all that kind of stuff, and obviously getting my accessories fitted. So I'm back in the Harley gang. It's not my first Harley. The Ultra on the wall was the first one I had, and then of course I had the Softail, which I've got some videos still to go up with that. When we did the NC500, did the NC500 twice on that? No, once on that bike. The first time was a Goldwing. So I've just been busy getting it all cleaned up, protecting it all, checking it over, seeing if there's anything, you know, amiss with it, but that's fine, it's absolutely perfect. Rides beautifully. And 15,500 miles, it's nothing. It's, you know, for one of these things, it's, you could say it's it's early days for it. Beautiful two-tone colour, and really nice condition. Very clean. I mean, you know, Harleys are not, they're not the thickest paint jobs frame-wise and that. You know, they can be a bit, they weren't built for this country. They were built for America, really. And of course, their climate is a lot better than ours. But if you look after them, and this one's been looked after, they can stay reasonably good. Just a little bit of housekeeping to keep on top of it, and you've got a fine bike. So the story with the stand is that the ABBA stand is rated for 400 kilograms when you use it in the normal operations. So when you're using it with the, you know, putting it in the swinging arm kind of position with a sort of leg frame, that can lift 400 kilograms. Now this bike's 394 kilograms. Now I did have the saddlebags off of it, which takes away about 25 kilograms. So that would be, you know, that would probably have taken it down to about 370. The cradle that I bought extra, which is the cruiser lift, is only rated for 350. So it obviously is designed to lift a bike this weight. So that was a wee bit of a concern. Now I spoke to ABBA and they told me that because of the extended length of the cruiser lift, that it's only rated for 350 kilograms and that they wouldn't recommend lifting this bike. Now I made a workaround and I did utilise 2 lifts to do it. Basically I've got a 600 kilogram cruiser lift over here, which was my original cruiser lift that I got with Electrified here. It was a beautiful bike. Unfortunately it was a very early 2000 model with a Marelli ignition, Marelli fuel injection, which was limited run, and getting spares for it were really almost impossible. One of the early twin cams too. But it was a beautiful bike, and there's a part of me thinks I should have held on to it, but some of the issues with it put the fear of God in me, and I passed it on in the end. I utilised a workaround. I didn't want to film it because I didn't want to be advertising, you know, anybody else to follow what I was doing, because it was up to me to make the decision on how I was going to lift the bike. Now, I am an ex-motor mechanic. I have dealt with lifts, you know, throughout my life. I am very safety conscious as far as jacking things up. You know, as an apprentice, I've had a car on top of me before, and so I know what it's like to not take the precautions. So I've always been very careful ever since that incident. So I did utilise 2 jacks to get the bike in the air. Now, you might just say, why not just use a 600 kilogram shorter cruiser lift? And it's fine on its own, and it does lift the bike quite well, and it does do it to a reasonable height, but the ABBA stand can take it that bit further. But you have got the fact that this cradle's not rated for it. So I did have a workaround, and I used both jacks to give me the ability to get the bike that little bit higher. At no point was I going to risk the bike falling because of the way I did it. But I didn't want to put that on YouTube because I didn't want anybody else copying me. I don't want to be liable for somebody else working on their bike. So because of that, I decided not to film the work I was doing. But I wanted you to make aware of the limitation of this ABBA stand and the cruiser lift. The cruiser lift is not designed to lift this bike. So that's a bit of a, I don't know, by ABBA, I mean, that's a bit, you know, let's face it, most cruisers are quite heavy, you know, most cruisers that we're going to lift are going to be, you know, quite a lot of them are going to be, you know, hit 350 onwards. Granted, this is a heavy bike, but I did take the saddlebags out of it to reduce the weight. I had the seat off it. Okay, that wouldn't have been a lot of weight, but I had the seat off it as well. The side stands, the side cases. So, I mean, the side panels. So, the bike would be a little bit lighter than the 394, but still overrated for this stand. Now, it's not the hydraulic ram because that's a 3-ton ram. It's not the issue. And obviously, when it's used with the normal conventional ABBA Skylift setup, it will lift 400 kilograms. So, the weak point is this table that they've designed for the cruiser lift. And to me, it's a bit of a it's a bit crazy. Why have you not? Why make it? Why not do it and make it so it can work with any cruiser, instead of it being just limited to this 350 kilograms. I don't know, but at the end of the day, be aware of it. And I would not lift this bike with that lift on its own. I would not leave it on that lift without taking other measures, other precautions. And if you want to play safe, just don't use a lift. Use something like the other cruiser lift that I've got over there. But that's it. I wanted to get my sat nav on and get my phone mount and back into my third Harley now. I do love I know people will state that they're tractor-like bikes, but I've got to admit that I love that. I love the sort of mechanical nature of the bike. How many bikes nowadays, I mean, it is a true retro, how many bikes nowadays still have push rods, it is a great bike to maintain and look after. It's a good bike to ride. It's a lot of fun. I love cruisers. I've had a lot of cruisers in my life, and I was always leaning towards Harleys, but never quite made the jump for lots of reasons. The typical reasons, really, that most people probably don't buy Harleys. But I've got to say that my eyes have been open since I had one. And I've enjoyed having the bike, and I've enjoyed meeting the people that I've met who, Harley riders, in these clubs, they do a lot of miles. They like riding their bikes. But anyway, here it is, 2013, 15,500 miles. Great condition for its age. It's not perfect. But 11-year-old bike is never going to be perfect, and you don't want it perfect because that means you become precious about it. This is a bike to ride and put the miles in. I did enjoy my Softail. It was a great bike. The Amber Whiskey one was a lovely bike, but the only problem with it was once you started to do distances, trying to carry stuff was a bit of a problem. And I've got some pictures I'll show you it mounted up when I went to Thunder in the Glen and did the NC 500 and all that. And it was at those points I had wished that I still had the Ultra. With the Ultra, of course, you've got the side bags, you've got the big top box, you've got the leg shields. Another bugbear about cruisers is getting your bloody legs wet because your feet are hanging right out there. Well, you don't have that problem with this. Electric Glides are classy. They're classy big bikes. And I'm really pleased with it. It's great to have it. So the reason it's at this angle is it was sitting straight back and forwards, but I wanted to use the lift just to manoeuvre the bike to the door. I'm not taking it out tonight. I got it in here myself, but I'm hoping that if I can move the lift, use the Skylift, because it's a lot more mobile on this lift than it is on my cradle lift. I'm hoping that I could just jack it up a little bit to get it moved round and the back end out the door, just to make it a bit easier for me getting out, because it's going to be a bit of a problem getting out. I might need another pair of hands. I might need to shout my mate Will to come along and give me a hand, but I'm hoping that I can maybe still do it myself. It's not going to be back in the workshop for a long time. It's not coming back in here. I've done all the work I need to do. It won't be in here for a while. I've got other things I've got to get on with. This bike will be just for riding. There's been a few changes, as there always is, and I'll bring you up to date on that further down the line. But I just thought I'd let you see the bike, and I'll put some of the NC 500 Thunder in the Glen videos up that I did. I did NC 500 this year on that Softail, and I did Thunder last year on it. I didn't go to Thunder this year. So I'll start putting some of that stuff up. But that's it. That's me done for the day. It's holiday time is over. Back to work tomorrow. and I just thought I would capture the video of the bike and introduce it. So anyway, all the best for 2024. I've waffled on a bit of crap there, but take care. Catch up with you soon. Bye.